What up, everybody, and welcome to Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment, and this is your combat sports show by guys who love combat sports. As always, it's your host, your boy Craig, here with my co-host,
your Flash Forum fight forecaster,
whoa,
Michael Johnson.
Awesome, loving it. So we have this past event, which was awesome. UFC Fight Night, Moraes versus Moraes. My bad. There we go. Moraes versus Sandhagen, and that was Saturday, October 10th, and that was in Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. And we started this fight off with Bruno Silva, 10-4 with 2 no contests, going up against 12-1 Tagir Ulanbekov.
Great fight, flyweights. Great to see always.
Mm-hmm.
You know, top skilled guys on both sides here. Competitive fight. Bruno Silva mashing him with calf kicks. The striking in the first round was definitely for Silva.
Yeah.
Big shots. Tagir gets a takedown though. Second round, Ulanbekov starts working the jab. It's landing pretty good. Seems like Bruno Silva's slowing down a little bit. Tagir gets 2 takedowns in the second round, striking a little better. But then Bruno Silva gets himself a takedown last second. And then the third round is all Tagir. I think Bruno's a bit gassed out. You know, he's working the takedowns. Gets back control for a bit. Competitive the whole time. Bruno Silva even switches him and gets on top at the end of round 3. Real close one, but they gave it to Ulanbekov. Unanimous decision. I agree.
Yeah.
He takes round 2 and 3 for sure.
Nice. And then in the women's bantamweight division, Tracy Cortez, 7-1, going up against 5-1 Stephanie Egger.
Cortez here. She's been in the UFC a bit. Egger, this was her debut, I believe. Cortez with good movement. Striking looked good. Takedown in round 1 was real good because she level changed right during the striking exchange. Good guard by Egger, though. I was impressed by it. Switches her, stands up. Gets a nice hip toss on Cortez, at the last second of round 1, so she gets her own takedown, kind of ties it up. Second round, though, I think, Cortez's corner realized she had the advantage once they were on the ground.
Yeah.
And, she went right back to it, started taking her down, working some top control, getting some ground and pound, takes her back, and takes the back control probably the whole second round pretty much. And then third round is kind of more of the same. In the third round, Egger goes for a last-ditch takedown and gives up her back accidentally, and then it's more back control. Tracy Cortez with a unanimous decision and good win.
Nice. Yeah, the first 2 fights I actually missed. I thought the event started earlier, so I actually missed the first 2 fights. But the first fight I get to see in the featherweight division, Giga Chikadze, 10-2, going up against the undefeated 10-0 Omar Morales.
Yeah, that's a great fight.
Great fight. Yeah.
Definitely a great fight to start watching on for sure. Giga with that great movement, like always. Good striking setups. I love his karate style. Both men with a karate background in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Omar Morales with some toughness, took some shots. He pushed the clinch, when he was getting hurt, but, to no avail, couldn't take Giga down. Second round, Giga's more one shot at a time, slowed down a little bit. I think he realized, I got this in the bag, kind of.
Exactly.
Third round, drops him with a right hand, drops Morales good. I thought he was going to be able to finish. Great job by Morales to, to withstand that. His calf was blown up from the kicks that Giga was landing.
I feel like my boy Giga just kind of rushed in a little bit too much. I feel like sometimes fighters get so excited that they attack the ground where he could have made a better decision to get into a better position to finish that fight.
I totally agree. He really wants a finish in the UFC. He's got plenty of wins now, but he's searching for that finish, especially because coming into the UFC, he was finishing everybody before he came in the UFC.
Oh.
So now, he's got like 4 decisions in a row, and he's getting aggravated.
Of course.
And you've seen that in this fight. He was going for it, throwing the power. Morales just, couldn't get inside the movement. Probably should have pushed the grappling a little more. But he never stopped. Tough guy. But Giga with the unanimous decision. Nicely done.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me. I love Jigga. You know that's my dude.
Yeah.
I always look forward to seeing him fight, and this was definitely not a letdown by any means.
No, and this
he
was
looked real
a
crisp.
tough test in the the young undefeated fighter.
And he had to take away someone's O.
Right.
That ain't nothing to smirk at. So, congratulations to Jigga.
And Morales was ready. I mean, he was in. This
Oh
fight.
yeah, no, he was definitely ready.
He was in this fight. He just he had trouble with the movement, like everybody does. Giga's got nice setups in that movement, different kicks. He's a tough dude to fight.
Yeah. All right, and then in the bantamweight division, Ali Agaisi,
Algassi,
8-4, going up against 6-2 Tony Kelly.
Another super entertaining fight. Tony Kelly super calm the whole time. Algassi, weird looking crazy dude.
Yeah.
No eyebrows, no hair.
Oh yeah.
hairless,
Okay.
Great wrestling though from Algassi. Gets 2 takedowns in the first round. Tony Kelly not much on the takedown defense. Good guillotine attempt by Algassi in the first round, but Tony Kelly goes right to a triangle attempt. Couple of triangle attempts in the first round actually almost had that inverted triangle where he tried to switch to the arm bar, tucked it under his armpit, just couldn't get
the right leverage.
I think Algassi was just smart, pushing down onto him, and staying safe. But he was when he let him go, you see him shake his arm out and his neck, so he didn't like any of that.
None of that.
Second round, what's it called? Second round, Tony Kelly hurts him with the knee up the middle. I thought it was a punch at first, and because you see Algassi stagger, ends up falling down. Tony Kelly with some top pressure, looks real good. Third round rather, more of the same, and he landed exactly that same knee up the middle.
Yeah.
Hurts him again. And
had him wobbled a little bit.
Definitely wobbled. And then he goes for it again at like 1 minute and 30 seconds, misses the knee, but hits the foot into the cup. And that was terrible. Low blow to stop the action, especially because Kelly was almost ready to finish him there. If I was Algassi, I would have took that whole 5 minutes. He's losing that fight.
Yeah, I mean,
it's deep in the third round. I
give yourself some time to recover.
And Tony Kelly just controlled most of the action. After the bell at the end, Algassi with a decent spinning back fist in the third round actually that landed. But and then after the bell rings, Algassi yells at him in a little bit of a push. That was kind of strange. Referee had to separate him. I was like, what are you mad about?
Yeah.
I
think he was mad because he knew what happened.
But then he was confused that he lost when the referee called out the decision, and it was unanimous for Tony Kelly. Algassi looked completely bewildered. I don't know how. Great win for Tony Kelly here, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good win. And then in the middleweight division, Impa Kasangane. 8. Is that 8-0? Was he 8-0?
He was.
8-0 going up against 10-3 Joaquin Buckley.
Fight that everybody has seen at least a piece of. It's a highlight that's going to go down in the record books. But, I like to break the whole thing down.
Let's do it.
So, Joaquin slinging power early. He wanted to come back from that loss to Kevin Holland in his debut and really show something. I thought he was competitive in the Kevin Holland fight, but Kevin Holland's so long, and really seasoned. And Buckley is still up and coming, figuring himself out. Big power shots, landing hooks right off the bat. Impa with some toughness, showed some chin early.
Solid chin.
I mean, he was getting cracked with hooks.
And it felt like he wasn't even feeling them.
Yeah. But with Impa, watching him fight is like he's trying out techniques on the job, which 8-0, it's tough to learn on the job in the UFC.
Yeah.
But we're getting that a lot more and more these days, because of like the Contender Series, guys are able to shine even with a smaller record.
And I think maybe guys are coming from better gyms with better training but less fights.
Right, better right off the bat. But then, you know, there's a learning curve. You've only seen so much in 8 fights.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you find yourself out there trying new things, and you know, sometimes that's not that great. But they're both in that type of area, you know, so you have a really interesting fight.
Yes.
Both guys really going for it. Both guys hurting each other. Impa showed some good stuff. You know, he had a good front kick up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Showed some good power inside low kicks. You know, landed a couple of his own punches. And he was having trouble with the big left roundhouse from early on, though. He hits him with it in the head. He blocks it, but it definitely did some damage from what I could see. You know, his eye started hurting. But a couple of them left kicks from Buckley Impa, you could see him parry them to the side. And with a parry, it's you know, you parry it for defense and get away from it right away, or you parry it in counterattack immediately, and you have to commit to one of those two.
Yeah.
If you find yourself in the gray area of holding the kick too long for no reason, it can turn out bad, because then your opponent's able to set up a next technique off of you holding his kick.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And, you know, you see it a lot on the kick catch, where they catch it on the side of their body, and then the guy's able to land punches, even with his leg up in the air.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you're holding the leg,
Right.
one arm is taken away.
I've seen jumping knees in Muay Thai while a dude's holding the leg and he comes in with the other knee, you know? And it can be pretty vicious.
Yeah.
It's all about, you know, finding out how long you should hold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to parry it just for defense, knock it out the way and counterattack instantly.
Yeah. No one to hold it.
Don't
No
just
one to
knock
fold
it out the way and hold on to it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. And, you know, he did that once or twice, and I was like, ooh, Impa, you're holding that kick a little long. You know, do something with it. At first, I was like, ooh, you know, that's a good time to counter-strike. You got the kick. It's a good time to punch. He can't get out of your range. You have his leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he just held it too long and didn't do nothing with it.
No.
And at 2 minutes and 3 seconds of the second round, Joaquin Buckley was able to treat us to definitely the KO of the year, arguably the best KO in UFC history.
Yeah.
Catches that left kick. I mean, he's got to get technique of the week.
I mean, how do you not get technique of the week?
Yeah.
It wasn't no accident.
But I feel, like I said, it's more of a mistake by Impa
Yes.
than it is a crazy highlight from Joaquin. But great
It's
notice.
kind of like half bad technique of
Right.
the week, half
Right.
technique of the week.
But, I mean, he had to have noticed that he held that kick too long,
Yeah.
you know, once or twice early. Because, like I said, I noticed it. So he felt that he held that too long. And hats off to go for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to get a highlight technique like that, you have to go for it. And you got to commit fully. Or you're not gonna do anything. And
Yeah, it's
half
not
the
gonna
time,
land or
you
anything.
look silly doing it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I agree.
And this is straight out of, you know, a Taekwondo tournament with he's parrying the left foot. Buckley feels it, decides to spin the hips and go for the spinning back kick to the face, lands it flush, and you know, it's Impa's on the wrong end of a highlight reel forever now.
Forever.
You know?
And what I love is I feel like no one said it, but I feel like this is how I felt in the moment. Is you could see Impa tries to fight the knockout, so he gets hit and he's in his fighting stance because he wasn't in a fighting stance until he got hit,
Right.
and he gets into it. He's in his fighting stance trying to hold it, and then just timber, straight stiff. Fall to the mat, which made it even that much more beautiful. But
complete cold knockout.
Yeah.
Eyes
And you
in
know,
the back of the head.
I also felt like it was a weird land for such a put to sleep KO because it crosses his cheekbone into his forehead, and like I feel like you don't really see people get hit in that direction. First of all, up. Second of all, in the eye cheek area and get KO'd. So like,
That's true.
you know, there was some hard power behind that kick.
That's true. Usually a guy gets KO'd, you know, in the eye area because the whiplash of the head.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the whip
But
of
this
the brain.
moved it up his face.
And yeah, you know, you get KO'd because your brain shakes inside your skull.
Mhm.
And this time it shook up.
Yeah.
Probably hit the surface, the top part of his skull. Ugh.
So, like, because I feel like you always
I almost
think
thought he
of-
was going to go face down, you know, because he goes forward after his head goes up, and then, like you said, he tries to fight it off.
fight the KO.
Tries to breathe, but, you know, can't find his breath. It's not there.
And I almost respect that. Like, it was because it was definitely made for, like,
toughness.
TV.
Yeah.
Made for TV comedy. Like, he was like, nope, I'm still out.
Yeah.
So that was
like
awesome.
I said, the wrong end of the highlight. You know, I don't know if I ever seen a more gruesome, brutal, you know, head eye roll. You know what I mean?
It was rough, man.
Yeah, the slow-mo angle is bad. Yeah.
So.
But, you know, hats off to the respect between the two gentlemen. These are two up-and-coming guys, like I said. And it's, you know, Impa's got no ceiling on his fight game.
Correct.
You know,
all types of corners he can turn.
right. It's just, you know, a stumble in the road. It's only his first loss. You know, he's under 10 fights, like I said. He's got a lot to learn. And I think
I bet you he won't be parrying no more kicks.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Learn on the job. Unfortunately, you know, in order to learn your lesson, you had to go to sleep pretty badly. You know? And Joaquin Buckley, you know, will get... He's already signed for his next fight, I believe. I can't remember the opponent. But I like that the UFC didn't jump him up too high. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's still, he still needs to grow, so they gave him an opponent to grow with again. You know? So, yeah, sky's the limit for both of these men. And what a great job by Buckley. I mean, it's so interesting, too, to land something like that. That's what sets you apart. Everybody knows his name. Everybody been watching it on the internet. People who don't like UFC even, you know.
And in the words that we've been using for a while now, it's made him very interesting.
Interesting, which brings in the fans, makes people look at you, which makes Dana White look at you.
There it is.
You know, so sky's the limit.
All right, in the heavyweight division, Chris Dukas, 9-3 going up against 8-0, and I never wrote his last name in. Rodrigo
Nascimento, they just go by that. I mean, it's Nascimento Ferreira, I think.
Okay.
But, I just call him Nascimento overall. Chris Daukaus, awesome guy, comes in 38-pound disadvantage in this fight. Daukaus weighed in at 227, and Nascimento weighed in at 265.
Wow.
Yeah. And,
wow.
And it took a whole, I think, 50 seconds for Daukaus to show that weight doesn't mean a thing. Daukaus lands a left hook, knocks him down right off the bat. Hammer fists galore, big time elbows. Nascimento stands up through the fire just to get knocked out by another left hook. Out cold.
Out cold. That was brutal.
Daukaus with great hand speed and relentless pressure once he had him hurt. Knockout round one, not even a minute in.
Not even. Yeah, that was right up against the fence.
Right up against the fence. Lands the left hook in the first exchange. Knocks him down. Smashes him on the ground. I mean, hats off to Nascimento to stand up through them elbows that he was eating. But like I said, he stood up just to eat another left hook and go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe could have chose a better angle or way of getting to your feet than to put yourself in that.
I mean, he was trying to pull guard. That wasn't working. He was getting hit with the elbows, so he went for the stand up. He had to try something. Yeah, Daukaus is a threat, big time. I like him quite a bit.
All right,
and he doesn't look like a fighter, even though he's 227 and a lean heavyweight. His skin is hanging off his body.
Oh yeah.
It looks like he could have been a 400-pound man before or something.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I like him a lot.
I look forward to seeing his next fight.
I love that. I love the guys who look like they got no strength, and then they show you hand speed like that, and power.
Power.
It was great.
I feel like a lot of times in the UFC, and it's usually your jiu-jitsu guys who look like they've never worked out in a gym in their entire life, but they got the craziest squeezes you've ever seen. So, don't be fooled by appearance.
Hand speed on a guy like Daukaus who looks like, whose body looks like that is incredible.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd have that his body would not move fast one bit, but it's incredible.
But boy, did it.
Yeah.
All right, for the premier fight of the prelims, Tom Breeze, 11-2, going up against the undefeated 8-0, KB Bular.
Yeah, we both went with Bullard because we had no idea, and Tom Breeze been out for a bit, but Tom Breeze 2 straight left hands, and then a step in jab, and KB Bullard was done. Not that great of a shot to finish a guy with, but Bullard maybe with a suspect chin.
Yeah, and maybe a suspect record.
It really was a straight jab.
Come in for your debut 8-0 and then just get obliterated. That doesn't speak well.
I mean, who's the 8 that he beat?
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
And that's always a problem before you come into the UFC.
Right.
Like some guys are 8-0, 10-0, whatever, because the competition they faced was so far below them.
Right.
That it was just unfair, and then they get to the UFC and it levels off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's guys who you faced a whole lot of pro bums.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, to start the main card, you have Youssef Zalal 10-2 going up against the undefeated 8-0 Ilia Topuria.
Ilia Topuria. Yeah, this was an incredible fight. Super entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Topuria, real threat, a real challenge for anybody at featherweight, I think.
I think so. He looked real good.
First thing, the man took this fight on 8 days' notice.
Really?
I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
I mean, he was super gassed out at the end of the fight, but the pace that both of them pushed and the amount of times that he squeezed on Zalal's neck trying to finish him.
Yeah. Pickups to Zalal for not succumbing to that.
Unchokable, with an exclamation point, is what I wrote for Youssef Zalal. I mean, crazy.
It was crazy. He should have been done for on multiple occasions.
Absolutely. Especially once or twice, it was super tight. The movement of Zalal, we know that. He's always movement.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely posed a few problems for Topuria. He had some good kicks going, some decent knees up the middle. Topuria showed some good boxing even. Some hard-hitting punches. Good footwork. Cut off the cage on Zalal pretty well. Got the clinch.
Especially Zalal, who's like one of those guys who has great movement and easily escapes from people, and he definitely got trapped a couple times.
Yeah, round 1, Topuria pushes the clinch, gets a belly-to-belly suplex to show his power advantage over Zalal.
And it was like a whipping belly-to-belly as well.
Goes right to the mount, smothering ground control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the squeeze on the man is crazy. Relentless choke artist on the ground. You flash him on your neck and he jumps all over it. The guillotine in the first round was super tight. I don't know how Zalal escaped it. Crazy. Second round, he gets him in a Darce choke that I thought was for sure. And then guillotine mounted at the end of the second round, thought for sure. No arm in or nothing.
Nothing.
Gets out of that. 6 choke attempts.
Wow, 6.
6 choke attempts that he escaped. So hats off to him. A guillotine attempt from Zalal in the third round.
It was a good attempt, too.
Started to hold his own on the grappling. I think, like I said, Topuria started gassing out. But, I mean, if this man had a full tank, he could be kind of scary. If he had a full camp.
Super dangerous. Super dangerous. My problem with Youssef, though, and I was kind of getting annoyed, and I'm pretty sure you were, too, he's obsessed with the highlight reel, flying knee finish.
Obsessed. And
I feel like a couple times he put himself in danger just trying to land it.
Especially late, with Topuria's grappling ability.
Mm-hmm.
After that first round, I wouldn't have threw that knee like that again.
Yeah,
because all it did was get him taken down over and over. The back transition in the third round from Topuria to get on Zalal's back was incredible. Zalal, if Buckley didn't throw that kick, I might give Zalal technique of the week for the way he was escaping the rear naked choke by turning his face into Topuria, using every little bit he could to escape them chokes. Super impressed by both men, but Topuria's a threat, and gives Youssef Zalal his first loss in the UFC. Unanimous decision for Topuria.
Good win.
I don't know how he didn't finish him.
Me neither.
And either does Topuria. Dan Hardy asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, tough guy, crazy." Like, you could tell he was shocked.
Yeah. No clue how you could escape something that was so like it was a trap. Like, Oh man, I personally, because I remember watching it and being like, damn, he's done, I
The way
like
he
him.
set up that guillotine, that first attempt,
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And he got out. I don't know how he wasn't asleep. When he was in the mounted guillotine, Paul Felder thought he was asleep.
Yeah.
He was like, he's not moving.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, he's there.
Yeah.
All right, in the heavyweight division, Tom Aspinall, 8-2, going up against 8-1, Alan Baudot.
Baudot from France. This was his debut. Seen some interesting stuff that could make him, exciting in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Some spinning back fists and some, reckless abandonment, just going for it. However, Tom Aspinall is very technical. Comes right down with the 1-2 down the middle. Keeps it simple with the ground and pound. Right hand lands, and Baudot kind of just covered up. It looked like he was going for an upward elbow, actually, against the cage, and he misses with it slightly, but it looked like he was almost turning his back, and he has to eat a right hand over his shoulder. Goes down. Aspinall gets the mount right away, and starts landing some ground and pound, but Baudot just turtled up and covered up. He couldn't escape the mount, but he wasn't taking heavy damage.
Yeah.
And referee calls it on that alone. Just because he couldn't escape the mount, but he wasn't really trying to. He was just covering up.
And when you do that, refs are always going to call the fight.
Yeah,
and you're
and
just
I
covering
agree.
up. Yeah.
I agree with that because that means you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
So TKO round 1, a minute and 35 seconds in. What do you think of Tom Aspinall versus Dawkins? The two small heavyweights.
Ooh.
Slinging it out, fast hands.
Yeah,
Both
yeah,
love to
yeah,
strike,
yeah.
Both on the smaller side, and they both got fast hands.
I absolutely don't hate that
Both
idea.
up and comers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good matchup right there.
I would love to see that.
Let's see that one happen.
Yeah.
In the middleweight division, Marcus Perez, 12-3, going up against 14-2, Dricus Duplessis.
Yeah. Interesting fight. Marcus Perez, the Joker, loves the way the Joker makeup at the weigh-ins. Came out no respect for Duplessis. Came out in power stance, hands low, throwing hard as he could, and was working.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. Pressure. Duplessis nervous as hell. Like the octagon jitters were real for that man. His debut got him. It looked like when Perez ends up landing a good left roundhouse to the body in the first round, and it looked like that's what actually relaxed Duplessis. After getting hurt.
Oh yeah.
After getting hurt, he realized, okay, it's just another fight.
Exactly.
This is what I do.
I'm in it now.
Yeah, and starts countering, starts landing, shows that he's got super long punches. Starts hitting Perez with some counters. Backs Perez up against the cage. Perez tries the Yair Rodriguez reverse elbow up over his back. Misses completely, but Duplessis throws a shovel of a left-hand hook, catches him on the ear while his head's down, and puts him face down, KO, out completely.
Some nice finishes in this pay-per-view. In this event, fight night. So
yeah, TKO round 1, 3 minutes 32 seconds in, and yeah, that had to feel good as hell because he was so nervous. And he even said it after. He's like, I don't know when this is gonna set in, but it ain't right now. He's like, it's crazy.
It's good to have a fighter like that, though. Who's
just
still
happy to be there.
Yeah, just like super excited, but like still having the jitters of getting in the ring. It kind of reminds me of something I saw earlier this week of George St. Pierre. Saying every time he gets into the octagon, he's scared.
Oh, yeah.
Because it makes sense, you're going up, obviously there's fighters who aren't scared, but he goes in the octagon and he's scared he can lose, but then overcomes his fear, and that, I feel like...
Yeah, Cowboy Cerrone's always said that, too. He's always terrified every fight.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. For some, but I feel like it's a lot of people like that, but ain't no guy's gonna admit that. But the ones that have a real heart, they don't care.
They don't care because they win.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter.
The kid was announcing the official decision. He's holding up his glove like UFC. I'm in the UFC. That's good to see, man. Like it's exciting. Just happy.
Yeah, that's a good fighter right there.
Yeah.
All right, and then again in the heavyweight division, Ben Rothwell, 38-12, going up against 19-6, Marcin Tybura.
Least in the night
Yeah,
for me.
100%
You know,
least of the night.
Yeah,
There was nothing exciting about this fight.
No, not at all. Ben Rothwell is never exciting for me. One shot at a time. He's willing to be hit because he's got a big jug head, so it's hard to put him away. Tybura with the better striking, but didn't really have pop on his punches. You know, like I've seen Tybura hit harder than that. I would have thought he could have put Rothwell away with how much he was actually tagging him. But
both fighters may be fighting not to lose,
I think
rather than fighting to win.
I think Tybura realized, like, this guy's got nothing for me. I'm going to be a little safe. But that's whatever. He ends up taking him down, gets some ground and pound, good top control. Ben got nothing from his back. And, dominant, unanimous decision for Marcin Tybura.
There it is. All right, and then in the featherweight division, Edson Barboza, 20-9, going up against 16-4, Marquand Americani.
Fantastic.
I called it. I said I wanted to see the return of my man Edson Barboza, and he looked like he's returned to true form.
Absolutely. Great body work. The jab feint to the straight right hand. That straight right hand step in, a la Floyd Mayweather. Like, after the jab feint, was just working for him over and over. Americani just... He looked like he was trying to counter, but he had certain things in mind that he wanted to counter, and he wasn't seeing, like, what he was expecting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it looked like to me.
He was ready for one thing, but seeing another.
I think he thought he was going to have to eat a ton of leg kicks, and he thought he was going to be countering off of the leg kick, but Edson was kind of reserved on the leg kick.
Yeah.
He was shooting it more to the body, shooting that kick straight up the front. I think this was a smart, educated game plan by Edson Barboza's corner, knowing what Americani was good at, knowing that he's got a good counter left hand over the top.
And maybe knowing what people expect from Edson.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can fool them, when they build a game plan thinking that they know what you're going to do, and you do something different. And it was great. He really relied on the hands. Body punches. The body punches were fantastic. Knocks him down twice in the third round with that straight, in the second round rather, with that straight right hand, like I said. Gets a anaconda choke attempt, which is Americani's favorite move.
Really?
He's got 3 finishes in the UFC by anaconda. I was like, no way. Is he really going to submit him with his own choke?
Yep.
That would have been crazy.
I love when fighters do that, when they beat someone with their particular style.
Takedown for Americani in the first round, late. Takedown round 2, late in the scramble. Takedown round 3, late. Not enough gas left to do anything with that takedown. He got a good takedown in round 3 and had time to work. And the ref ended up standing him up, which I didn't agree with, honestly, because he was still moving. He was landing some shots.
I've noticed that a lot lately. Even though sometimes it's in moments you kind of almost want it to happen as like a fan who likes action. Right. But like I do feel like refs are being instructed to not let grappling go too long.
I've seen, especially with the certain new ref, Kevin Sataki. He looks like he's half Japanese or something. Yeah. He's got white hair.
Yeah.
He's the one that's breaking up these clinch and ground positions too quick for me. I'm not sure that I like him. But like I said, not enough gas left in round 3. Could have put something together, but that would only give him round 3. But dominant performance by Edson Barboza. Takes all 3 rounds. I think he got another knockdown in round 3 with that same right hand. That,
I believe you're right.
Americani did not see that punch coming. That was something that Barboza added for sure. And great job. And he says, he's in the featherweight division for the title.
There it is.
And I think he matches up great with the champ, to be honest. Styles make fights. And if he can get some
good wins, Well, I think from what I saw, I'm really excited to see what Barboza does. It looks like maybe he could have turned the corner.
I like Americani. He was thanking Barboza because Americani's ranked outside of the top 10. I think he's number 13, and Barboza's like number 6.
Wow.
And Americani had asked for that fight.
Yeah.
And Edson agreed. He said, yeah, sure. And he was like, just the fact that you accepted it, thank you so much. And he was like, it's because I think you're a great fighter. He's like, the rankings mean nothing to me. So, had great respect from all these fighters, really, except for maybe Al-Kasi and Tony Kelly.
The only unrespectful bout of the night.
Yeah.
All right, and then for the main event in the bantamweight division, Marlon Moraes, 23-6-1, going up against 12-2 Corey Sandhagen. And wow, did this fight go in a direction I did not see coming.
My goodness. Yeah, I didn't write the stoppage time for this. I know it was round 2.
Yeah.
But Corey Sandhagen, his movement was great. The switching of stances really had Marlon confused, because it was just over and over. He was never in the same spot. You couldn't tell where he was going to go. Circle one direction and then circle the other.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, when you're fighting guys super technical, because Marlon's super technical.
Super technical.
By the books. You know what I mean? He does everything by the books. He just does it so hard that, it's hard to defend against. And he needed them power kicks early, I think. That was Marlon's
mistake. He needed
mistake.
to establish it, yeah.
He had to establish them leg kicks to stop that movement early. And he had no answer for that. And the tricky variety of striking from Sandhagen,
he just looks so good.
He would just snap a jab here while moving offset on the wrong foot, you know what I mean? He does stuff.
Okay, yeah.
He does stuff that other guys can't, and he hits Marlon with an uppercut in round 1 before the round ends and really hurt him. And the commentators didn't even really pick it out, but I seen Marlon stumble. I thought that was the beginning of the end. He survives the round, comes out in the second round, and it's more of the same. Corey's lighting him up. Corey, looking directly at Marlon, tells his cornerman his orbital's broken. Did you hear him yell that out?
I didn't hear him
in the middle of the fight. Corey Sandhagen's looking at Marlon and says his orbital's broken. And the commentators was like, what? And Corey said it at the end. He was like, I noticed his eye looked broken. He's like, so I decided I'd say it out loud. Maybe I'd get in his head, and I think I did. And he might have.
Wow. Wow.
Sneaky little trick.
That is sneaky.
And
wow.
I liked it quite a bit. But, not 5 to 10 seconds after that, Corey throws a spinning heel kick and, clips him right off the top of the head, above the ear, and over the whole top of the head. Marlon regains a little bit on the way down, you know what I mean, and does the back somersault,
roll, yeah,
to try to escape. Finds himself against the fence, eating shots. At first, I thought it might have been a tiny bit early on the stoppage, but no complaint from Marlon. He won. He was done.
Yeah. I mean, what do? You just let him hit him 5 more times. It was just instinct.
Yeah. I mean, he was moving a little bit, but he wasn't going for defense. He wasn't pulling guard. So good stoppage. But like I said, I didn't write the minute down. It's definitely second round.
Hell of a victory for him. Let's add these bad boys up.
Yeah, because I think he got me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7. So while he's counting that, unfortunately we have a lost tape episode where we recorded it, but something happened on the disc and it wouldn't read. And we have a new part of our show where we got the BMF belt, and each week we're going to guess who wins like we always do, but whoever has the most right each week gets the belt. And just so you know, 7 to 8 last week, Mike took the belt for the first time, which is why the belt is in front of him for this episode. And now we're about to determine the number this week.
What did I pick I picked Taporia. That's awesome.
I did not pick Taporia.
That gives me 5, and then I picked Aspinall. That's 6, and then I picked Duplessis. That's 7.
And you had to have picked Marcin.
I picked Americani to beat Bart.
Yeah, you did.
How disrespectful.
How disrespectful. Because I remember being like, I'm taking Edson, and you were like, oh, I like Americani.
I really like him, and I thought he could have gone on with the grappling. But he should have rushed him early.
I risked it on
picked
Edson
Tabora.
Barboza because I
picked
like him.
Tabora, so that was give me 8. Yeah.
Is that 8?
Yeah.
Oh, back to back.
Yeah.
You gave me the bait and switch.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought I
man.
lost that.
Well, I know
picked so many opposite picks of you.
Yeah, I know the
You
first
know?
3 we picked the same. I know we went Tygier, Tracy Cortez, and Jigga.
Yeah.
But then I think I went Tom Kelly and you went Ali.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
And we both went Impa.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I don't know what you did and what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 8. So congratulations to the back-to-back.
I really
week
thought I was
champ.
losing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You know what messes me up? The ones that we both get wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, I would like to just on the fact that we're talking about Corey Sandhagen beating Marlon Moraes, is they just announced that Pelter Jan will defend his title, deservedly so, against
Absolutely.
Aljamain Sterling,
Absolutely.
a guy we've been waiting
Should
for
have
a
fought
title
him for
shot.
it in the first place.
Yeah, it should have been Aljamain. There's no reason why it should have been Jose Aldo. No reason in the world
No.
that it should have. Jose Aldo shouldn't even have been in the contendership, even now.
I wouldn't even have minded Marlon Moraes fighting.
Marlon Moraes
Yeah.
is it would have been the only other option because he
'Cause
actually fought
beat
for it.
And he actually beat Aldo in the fight that Aldo, got to fight after. That's
Yeah,
good.
so it doesn't make sense. But now I ask
Anyways,
if Edson Barboza.
he's
Wow,
he's
Edson
a
Barboza. If Corey Sandhagen, I don't know why I couldn't say his last name. If Corey Sandhagen has now beat Marlon Moraes, who beat a contender for the undisputed belt, the vacated belt,
Yeah.
does that not put Corey Sandhagen as the number 1 contender to face the winner of Pelter Jan and Aljamain Sterling?
I mean, these are the 4 men that we had in the conversation. Piotr Jan,
Yep,
Aljamain Sterling,
correct.
Sandhagen, and Moraes.
Yes.
That was the 4-man tournament we wanted. We have, like you said, we have Aljo fighting Jan for the title.
Yeah.
And this was, to see who the next contender was.
I believe so.
You know what I mean? I don't see it any other way.
I can't.
They're talking about Dillashaw coming back. They're talking about
Dillashaw in no way, shape, or form.
Why would he get a top 5 after that?
Not even a top 5. Like, you got to start, at 11.
Yeah.
And work your way up through the 10. And I'm not talking about 2 fights and you're in the title. I think you need to work
Right.
after what you did.
They're talking about Frankie Edgar after the win over Pedro Munoz, but we both know he didn't win that fight, number 1.
Correct.
And number 2, Frankie Edgar is not the level of Corey Sandhagen. At this weight class, especially.
But 1 fight doesn't earn you a title shot.
And I don't think that a win like that should earn Frankie Edgar a shot at Sandhagen, because that was the name that that Sandhagen said. He said no disrespect to Dillashaw coming back, no disrespect to Edgar. Those are the only 2 names that I could even think of besides Aljamain or Jan. He's like, I want the next title shot.
Yeah.
That's what he wants, and that's what he deserves.
And that's what he deserves.
I mean, he lost to Aljamain Sterling. Okay, but he beat everybody else in the bantamweight division. Yeah, I don't see who else that you would want him to beat before he has a title shot.
And the answer to that to me is nobody.
Right, that's the exact 4-man tournament we wanted.
All right. We don't have too much time, so I want to bang out some news a little bit. I'm excited because Conor McGregor had made a demand that even though he was going to get the fight with Dustin Poirier, that he wanted it to be in either November or December. Dana White counters with January, I believe, 13th, and says to Conor McGregor, accept this fight in January or stay retired.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor accepts it. I believe you told me that we're still waiting on a Dustin Poirier confirmation.
The last I read earlier was that Conor had not only verbally confirmed but signed, and that they're waiting on Dustin.
And I know Dustin's going to take this
Dustin
fight.
has verbally confirmed already.
Okay.
Just waiting on the paperwork.
So we have that.
Absolutely.
And also, our man that's been climbing the charts, Chimaev, has verbally accepted the challenge of Neil Magny, which is a fight I'm really excited for.
Absolutely. I don't know what the UFC thinks of it. I think it's a great matchup.
Yeah.
Because, Hamzat has shown the skills. Why not jump the table? I don't mind it.
I don't mind it at all because he's super interesting.
Super interesting. Neil Magny, super great fighter who does nothing but win. Not interesting. You know what I mean?
But beat Chimaev
makes you interesting.
Makes you super interesting.
Especially if he can do it the way that he does against most people and just smother them and negate their skills. That's what Magny does.
Yeah.
And he rides you out and grinds you for a decision.
But they both are guys who like to get people to the ground and finish them. Even though Chimaev showed something different in his last fight, he is a guy who brings you to the ground. So now you got a guy who you might not be able to keep on the ground.
And Magny has shown incredible striking as well. So
it's an exciting fight.
That's a great fight. Bit of news: Islam Makhachev, lightweight fighter that I like. He was going to be on the main card of the UFC 254, the big pay-per-view with Khabib and Gaethje, but they can't find an opponent for him. I don't know why Michael Chandler won't fight him.
I like the idea of Michael Chandler. Give him a good fight to start in the UFC.
Your first, fight in the UFC, fight a top 10 guy. Makhachev is no joke. He's that, same Dagestani wrestler like Khabib.
Yep.
Shown better striking than Khabib, though, in the past. Does nothing but win in the UFC. Why can't you find him an opponent,
That's tough.
That's crazy. And he was slated for the pay-per-view. They thought it would be no problem to get him an opponent. If Chandler's a stand-in for that pay-per-view, he doesn't want to make a splash? I don't know.
I think so. I think it's a good fight for him, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe it'll develop.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'd like it, though.
And
we got Anthony Smith coming back. I thought it was a bit of news because he's going to be fighting in a light heavyweight. He was thinking about going back down to middleweight. And he's going to be fighting Devin Clark. Definitely, chopping him down on the totem pole.
Yeah.
He's got to build his way back up.
There you go.
That's why.
And that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. But he's willing to do that.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that fight because I think it's more of his speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get into it. UFC Fight Night, Ortega versus the Korean Zombie. I always think that's weird that sometimes they'll give you a fighter's nickname instead of their last name or their first name instead of their last name. It's interesting. Saturday, October 17th, 7 p.m., Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. And it starts off in the bantamweight division, Saeed Nurmagomedov.
Very nice.
For the first time, I have said it. 13-2 going up against 18-2 one no contest, Mark Striegel.
Yeah, sounds good enough. I never heard it out loud.
Me neither.
Mark Striegel on his debut. He's got 4 wins in a row. But his last fight was a no contest where he got kicked in the balls and couldn't continue.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. Saeed Nurmagomedov 2-1 in the UFC. He's not that active. He's got a round 1 KO versus Ricardo Ramos. Big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Unanimous decision loss versus Joanny Barcelos in December.
Ooh.
Roll the dice on the new kid, or
what do you got?
We'll go with the Nurmagomedov. I'm gonna go with the new kid.
All right, I'm gonna go with Nurmagomedov. Since I said his name for the first time, I feel like that's lucky.
Right?
In the light heavyweight division, in the light heavyweight division.
Have fun with that one.
Yep. Gadzi Himurad, Antigulov.
Yeah.
20-7 going up against 38-2 Maxim Grishin.
Yeah. Gadzi Murad, right?
Yeah, Gadzi Himurad.
Yeah.
Himurad.
Antigulov, he's 2-3 in the UFC. I don't recognize his name, as crazy as that is.
No.
Well, he's got a round 1 submission loss versus Paul Craig in July. And before that, wait a minute. Yeah, round 1 submission loss versus Paul Craig in July. And before that, he hadn't fought since March 2019, and he had 3 losses in a row.
Ooh, then that's the guy with the hard name?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm off him.
Yeah, Maxime Grisham, 0-1 in the UFC, decision
0-1.
loss versus Tibura. What, was he undefeated?
No, no, I'm just saying. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah,
You got-
own one decision loss, split decision loss to Marcin Tybura.
Then I'm gonna go with Maxim.
Yeah, because this dude gets
This
finished.
other dude sounds terrible.
He's got losses in a row and he gets finished.
Cool. So you take the guy with losses in a row.
No, I'm going with Maxim.
Yeah. In the lightweight division, Jamie Malarkey, full of malarkey, 12-3, going up against 10-3, Fares Zaim.
Jamie Malarkey, only 0-1 in the UFC. I felt like he had a couple, but
I thought he had more than one fight.
just decision loss versus Brad Riddell,
Yeah.
the Kiwi fighter there in November. I thought he had one before that.
I
but
thought he
guess
did
not.
too.
Yeah, Fares Zaim, decision loss. He's 0-1 in the UFC. Decision loss versus Don Madge in September of 2019.
So both these guys are just losers.
But Fares super inactive. I'll go with Malarkey.
No, I gotta go opposite for you. I'm gonna go with Zaim. All right, in the middleweight division, Park Jun Young, 11-4, going up against 22-10, 1-0 contest, John Phillips.
Yeah, Park Jun Young, 1-1 in the UFC. Submission loss versus Anthony Hernandez, and decision win versus Marc-Andre Barriault early this year. I think it was May. John Phillips, 1-4 in the UFC. Yeesh.
Yeah, wow.
3 losses in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all we need to know
Wow.
about that guy.
And he had 3 losses in a row. Then he had a KO win last September against a tomato can, and then a submission loss versus our boy Hamzat Chimaev in July.
Okay.
He was the Darce choke in the round 2. He lasted the longest with Hamzat. The other dude got TKO'd in round 1 with and then Meerschaert with the one punch.
Yeah.
So this was the first dude that fought Hamzat. That was in July,
Okay.
and he got Darce choked.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go with Park.
Yeah, Phillips got 3 losses in a row.
All right, women's flyweight division, Jillian Robertson, 8-4, going up against 8-2, Pauliano Botelho.
Pauliana, 3-1 in the UFC, doing pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Not that active though. She had a submission loss versus Calvillo last year, and then a decision win versus Lauren Muller in March of 2019. So she hasn't been fighting since March 2019.
Wow.
Jillian Robertson, love that girl. 5-2 in the UFC. Only bad loss she had was a TKO versus Macy Barber. She realized, what it was like to get punched in the face, because everything before that was a submission victory for her. She got submission wins versus Whitmire, submission win versus Veronica Macedo, rear naked choke versus Courtney Casey in June was her last one.
Nice.
And she got a TKO in there somewhere too. I gotta go with Robinson.
You know what? I gotta follow your lead. I'm really liking Jillian Robinson in this one.
Especially the activity.
Cause she's been getting better, especially since Macy Barber.
Absolutely, she has. She realized what it was to get hit. And this is like even more so with the female fighters, is learning on the job at the highest level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of these girls have like less than 5 fights, never mind less than 10 fights, and here they are at the highest level of mixed martial arts.
Exactly.
So they're still learning quite a bit.
All right, and then the premier fight of the prelims, Matasus Gamro, 17-0 with 1-0 contest, going up against 11-2 Garam Taledzi.
Kuda Taledzi. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Kuda Taledzi.
Yeah. Matus Gamrot, he's on his debut here. He's got 10 finishes on his record. Kuda Taledzi, also on the debut, 8 in a row, 5 by finish.
I'm a hoe for the O.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Matus Gamrot.
Okay. And then to start the main event, Thomas Almeida, 22-3, going up against 12-3, Jonathan Martinez.
Yeah, Thomas Almeida, 5-3 in the UFC, 2 losses in a row. Jimmy Rivera and Rob Font at bantamweight though. Here he is at flyweight, right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Martinez, Decision. He's 3-2 in the UFC. Decision loss versus Andre Ewell. TKO win versus Frank A. Saenz in August. So he's been pretty active. He's coming off a TKO win.
I'm liking Almeida in this fight.
I think I'm going Jonathan Martinez.
Cool. In the welterweight division, Claudio Silva, 14-1, going up against 27-9, James Krause.
James Krause, forever one of my favorite dudes. One of my favorite coaches. Fantastic, fantastic dude. Been around for a while. 8-4 in the UFC. 6 wins in a row. And then, including KOs versus Wally Alves and Sergio Moraes. And then he suffered a split decision loss to Trevin Giles in February.
On short note.
18 hours notice.
18, that's what it was.
Yes.
Short notice.
He was like, yeah, I'm here, I'll fight.
Yeah.
He was there to coach Megan Anderson.
Yeah.
And decided, I'll step in and fight, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of you bringing up her name, just been I liked her on Facebook and just been seeing her post, and she's a super cool chick.
Super
but
cool.
What I didn't know is Megan Anderson's super hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't you see a lot of these female
Instagram
fighters,
especially.
Yeah,
she's funny with the TikTok dance.
Yeah, the TikTok. Yo, and she got moves.
Yeah.
Megan Anderson's not.
It's funny 'cause I've been following her for a while.
Yeah.
But she wasn't great at first. She's
really?
built up that dancing ability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big ups.
And she didn't care to try to be sexy, and I think somewhere she realized that she was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially with the best ink in the UFC.
Yeah.
Men and women.
And a video gamer and everything.
Yeah, I saw that too.
She's cool in general. And James Krause coaches her. But, 18 hours notice. He'll forever be awesome for that.
Yeah.
Claudio Silva, he's one of these dudes who's super inactive but has been successful in the UFC. 5-0 in the UFC. His last fight was a round 1 submission win versus Cole Williams in August of 2019.
Wow. So it's been over a year.
Yeah, I don't know what some of these people do. They must have, good stuff going on outside of the UFC.
Or just don't have the excitement behind their name to fight. I don't know.
Or you just don't care to fight as much. Maybe it's not your number one thing in your life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not
just something you're good at.
Maybe it's not really how you make your money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you do because you enjoy doing it. I don't know, but
as much as I like Krause, though, I got to go with Silva.
I get that, but James Krause will figure it out, especially on the full camp. I can't go against James Krause. I like him too much.
Light heavyweight division, Jimmy Crute, 11-1, going up against 11-2. Modestas Bukauskas. Bukauskas. Oh yeah, Bukauskas. Okay.
Jimmy Crute, 3-1 in the UFC. He's had a pretty good career so far. 2 KOs. In general, in his whole career, I think he's 4-1 in the UFC actually.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that 4th opponent. Yeah, because he's got 2 KOs and 2 Kimuras.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, legit. And he only lost to Misha Serkinov by the Peruvian necktie. You remember that?
Yeah, and that's tough.
Yeah, but the last fight, he rebounded like crazy. Round 1, Kimura, nasty Kimura, on Michael Olashejik, who was supposed to be the superior grappler.
Yeah.
So that was great to see. Modestas Bukauskas, I kind of like that name. He's 1-0 in the UFC. He's got a TKO over Andreas Michailidis in July in his debut. Beat him up bad in the first round and he couldn't get off the stool for the second round.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that when they stop it in between rounds.
Yeah.
Because he struggled back to his corner. They thought about it. The doctor, the ref came over, called the doctor over, and I was like, no, never mind.
Wow.
After 1 round. So.
Wow.
So.
Who you got?
I don't know, man. It's hard to bet against Jimmy Crute.
I feel you.
Especially on a debuting fighter. I'm gonna go with Crute.
You know what?
Because
I'm gonna take a chance on this
good
guy.
all around.
I'm gonna take Bukauskas. All right. In the women's flyweight division, I believe the co-main event, Caitlin Chukagian, 14-3, going up against the newly flyweighted division, 20-8, Jessica Andrade, making the step up from strawweight, knowing that maybe she's outmatched in that division.
I like it. I think the speed is too much for her at strawweight. I
Yeah.
always have thought that. I think the big wins that she's got is her toughness to last through, maybe girls who don't hit as hard,
Yeah.
and then, land a superior shot. I think she realized in the Rose fight, like, I can't take damage like that throughout my career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
why do I not remember? Did they actually get their second fight? Rose won that fight,
yeah.
right? By decision,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, Jessica landed some good power shots.
Yeah, because she blew up her face
blew
at
up
the
Rose's
end.
face. But, I mean, Jessica had to eat 3 for every one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she took a lot of damage there. Andrade, 11-6 in the UFC. She had 2 decisions and 1 KO loss in her last fights at strawweight. Decision loss to Joanna and to Rose,
Yeah.
but then the big knockout from Weili,
Yeah.
for the championship when she lost her belt. And she's got 2 submission losses at bantamweight, and I only brought that up because she used to fight bantamweight, and she might be at a grappling disadvantage at flyweight. You know what I mean? She's coming up to try to get back the speed disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have a power advantage at
Yeah.
flyweight. I think this is a bad matchup for her. Kuka Jean, Caitlin Chukagian, 7-3 in the UFC. Bad loss versus the champ, Shevchenko. Dominant decision versus her sister, Antonina, in May. Styles make fights, and I think, like I said, Andrade, doesn't do well with a long, rangy striker who's got good hand speed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Kuka Jean is.
Yeah.
Long, rangy fighter who doesn't take too many chances. We've seen an improved ground game from her
Yes.
in the last fight.
Correct.
But she's super technical on the feet, super long. She could just touch you and touch you and touch you and not get hit. That's her strength.
Mm-hmm.
She got no kind of power.
No.
She's never going to get a TKO on the feet. And she's definitely not going to hurt Andrade with punches.
And that's my problem right there, is the difference between every other fighter Andrade fought is that they could hurt her, so she had to take damage. Right. And that's why I believe she wins this fight, is because I think she can run through Kuka Jean's lack of power and bring her to the ground and beat her up.
I truly believe she has the wrestling advantage. Andrade, I absolutely agree
After
with
what
that.
she did to Claudia Gadelha?
She needs to definitely go forward. She needs to get through Caitlin's, distance attack. And like you said, probably push the grappling, I don't know, I feel like Caitlin's going to keep her on the end of that jab, snap kicks at her, and get a decision.
All right, I'll go Andrade. I think Andrade brings it to the ground and beats her up. All right, and then the main event, a fight that's been waiting to happen. Brian Ortega, 14-1, won no contest, going up against 16-5, Chan Sung Yadong, a.k.a. the Korean Zombie.
Yeah, this is a great fight.
Did I say Sung Yadong?
Yeah.
Sung Jung.
That was pretty good. It sounded like, son, you done. But, tough KO losses for both of these men. Like, you know what I mean? In their in recent history in the UFC.
I feel like more so for the Korean Zombie.
I totally agree.
A fight he was winning.
Absolutely. That, he did rebound with that round 1 KO, though, over Moicano and Frankie Edgar. He got the KO over him. But tough KO loss against Yair Rodriguez by the backwards elbow puts Chan Sung Jung at 6-2 in the UFC.
Yeah.
Brian Ortega's only lost to Max Holloway ever in his whole career. And to boot, he's 7-1 in the UFC, and all 7 are finishes.
Wow.
I don't think Brian Ortega gets enough credit in this weight class, to tell you the truth.
Well, I think part of that has to do with the fact.
By Max Holloway.
Yeah, he got blown up by Max Holloway, but then he disappeared.
He suffered serious injuries. He's had to have both of his hands rebuilt after the Max Holloway fight.
Wow.
I mean, he is back just within like the doctor's time frames.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't longer than it was supposed to be. It was just a crazy recovery. We're talking all kinds of pins in his hands and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough loss. Didn't know if he wanted to continue fighting. Had to separate from the camp. looks like a new man. This is real interesting. I don't know.
I'm going with Ortega. I think he makes a recovery.
On paper, it seems Ortega's the clear choice. Chan Sung Jung got some weirdness in him. You know?
Hard to put down.
Absolutely hard to finish.
Tough one.
I think I gotta go with T-City. It's Brian Ortega's fight to win.
There it is.
I think it's also his fight to lose, though. He makes a mistake, he'll get finished. You know?
All right. Well, we definitely went over time this week. You know, that's our thing.
Yeah.
But until next week, we'll see you in the octagon. Have a good night.